We have learned last week that on how to create the floor plan, right? So we have created this one. So for this week tutorial, we're going to create a section of this floor plan. But then, of course, this floor plan is actually for you as a guideline to complete your assignment, right? So whatever that we did here, you must apply into your assignment. And frankly, whatever I did here is actually just a minimum, right? So you're supposed to elaborate whatever that you learn. Example like the dimension, I just put a minimum dimension here, but then in your assignment, you're supposed to make it complete, right? And make it having detail. Right. So before we start with the section drawing, first thing what we have to do is create a section line. So to create a section line, first of all, let's go to the layer property. Right. So create a layer named section line. Then a line for section line is a long dash and dot. Right. Let's load long dash and dot. Yeah, could be fine. All right. Okay. And long dash and dot, there you are. And load slide. Right. Okay. All right, so we've got a cat as OW for W100, right? And then drop this layer and change the layer to the section line. Right. So the next thing that we have to do is to think of where the section line will be, where we want to cut our section, right? And then where the view of the section will be, right? So you're supposed to produce two section line. It means that section X and Y. So the section X will be the horizontal line of the on the plan, and Y will be the vertical line of the floor plan here, right? So I plan to do the my section line here. So I create line. Your 8, press F8 to make a straight line, and click. Okay, that's my section line. Then another section line will be from here to there. Right. Okay. So the next task is to draw the section head. Right. So there's a few types of section head that you can use. So I just use simple one. 100. Right. I'm gonna remove this. From here, we'll create a line. H and EA. And there's you can use any type of symbol for section line. There's many type of symbol. Here it is. The floor plan here. 8 again. And 9. 9. It's my section line symbol. Right, so I'll name this section line as A. I created the drop flag and I put the text there. So it'll be A. So the text size, I'm guessing about 500. Oh, I think 500 is too big. Let's make this smaller. There is, of course, for information, there is no a specific size for the text. It means that it's depends on the size of the drawing that you're working on. And that's why a template, a completed work that on the same project, usually a template is important. It means that you already have the specific size, certain size of the project, right? And then this tab, and I copy to the next one, right? Yep, anything like that. So that is my section line. It means that it's facing towards upward, right? And then I'll copy this one here to make a second section line. Right, then I'm going to rotate this. RO for rotate. You can just easily do this one here, right? And so this should be B section. So I'm going to rotate the text back to the normal orientation. Okay, oh, this. This should be section B. Right? Lines. I'll copy this. Okay. Right? So that's a section line of the drawing. After we have completed the section line, it's about time to draw the section drawing, which is the view of inside of the interior. So you have learned from the orthographic project, right? Orthographic drawing project, that where you extrude the line from the plan or elevation to have another drawing, right? So you can extrude this into to a section after this by extruding from the plan. But there's another way if you're using AutoCAD, right? Instead of extruding from the wireplan you have here, you can just copy this. Right, as I want to have my section here. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to copy this floor plan on top here, right? And I'm going to extrude the section, right, towards to my drawing here. And after that, once I finish, I'm going to copy the A4 paper data block into my drawing, right? So as you can see, right, when we want to draw this, we need the view upward of the floor plan on top here, right? So we can start removing all unnecessary drawing. This one hatches will not be seen inside the section, right? And then we can start remove all the things that actually below the section line. Example, like okay, window here, right? Wall, doors. There is door here, right? So the door will be visible. So let it be. While this wall here will not be visible. This door here will not be visible because it's below the section line. So let's just remove this. Even this bed here, remove this. And let's remove all this. So this will help us to have a good view of what we're going to draw. Right. Okay. Leave the text name here because we can reuse this again on our section. Right. Okay, once we have this, okay, the first thing to do before we create the section line, first thing we need to draw the baseline. Right. So baseline, we can just go to either using the zero layer here. The zero layer will be the universal layer, right? It's white colors, but then we can use other color as well, changing it in the properties. Right? Or another way is you can just go to layer and create ground, but you might end up with lots of layer. So we would like to minimize the layer and use only the important one, right? So this will be my ground layer here, right? So ground layer should be with a thick line. So click the ground layer, go to the property and change the color to green, right? 0.6 pen. Okay, so it's a ground, should be thick enough. All right, so once we want to do this, so we can start extruding. I would like to move this slightly further down. Right. Okay, there you go. All right. So one essence of a section line, right? You've got the shape of the space from the floor plan here, but then what we need to do research more is the height, right? The height of the walls, the height of the ceilings, the height of the furniture, the height of the door, windows. That is very important, right? So that's where we need to do the research. Okay, so before we do that, there is something actually we can reuse from this floor plan. Example here, the grid lines here, the dimensions, even the room naming here, right? So first thing, what can we do? We just copy all this. We copy. All right. We just copy the floor, the grid line AC here, and the dimension. Okay. And push it down here. Right. Okay. So this is actually will be reused as a section drawing. So as you can see, this is too long here, right? So what can you do? Just use stretch. See, stretcher, or shortcut is ST. R, STR, stretch. Right. Okay. So cross selection, press spacebar, and push it over. Make sure that the auto is on. All right. There you are. Okay. Well, there's another way you can use trim, but then trim, if you use trim, it require more step than stretching. All right. So another thing that you need to copy, you can extrude here, is the wall line here. As you can see, right, there is wall here, and then here on the right side is a window. Right, what can you do? You can just copy the wall line here, and also the window line with the press space bar and push it down. There you go. And as you can see on this part here, there's supposed to be a wall and also a door here, right? So what can you do? You can just copy all this. Copy the walls and part of the door. All right, push it down. This is actually a shortcut, right? Or tips on how to do this. But as I mentioned just now, once we have this, what we need to do is we need to get to know or do research on the height, right? So this is a house. Usually the house, if it's a ground house, that should be a raised floor. Usually about 150. Sometimes you probably require steps, right? So in this case, I'm going to raise about 150 the floor of the house here, right? It's 150. Okay. So this is the ground. The yellow, the green color is actually the ground, and this is the raised floor. All right. So I'm gonna leave it like that. So then I see you see this one here, right? So I'm going to extrude this line here. Extrude, you can use the extrude here, extrude, right? Or EX, extend, right? Extending and extrude. Extrude means we are furthering the line to a certain object. Extrude, extend also bring the same meaning, right? So I'm going to create this space bar, right? Yeah. Yep, extend here. Now, I'm going to extend this wall here. Okay. And there is actually supposed to be a wall here as well, right? So this is a raised floor for the floor plan, right? So from this floor plan here, I'm going to trim this. Here, this bar and trim, and trim. Okay, that's it. This is a raised floor of the house, and this is the counter, right? Okay, the next one is you need to know the height from the floor to the ceiling or to the roof, right? So in this case, offset the ceiling, the height from the floor to the ceiling is about 3,500. Sorry, to the roof beam. Okay, that's the roof beam. As you can see, actually the roof beams here. The dimension line should be further up. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to undo, control Z, undo, sorry. Okay, I'm going to undo, right? So what we need to do, we need to extend this further using stretch. It seems that we do not have enough height for our section here, or grid line. There you are. All right, you can start delete all this part here. We don't need it more. This is actually for another section. This could be disturbing. Okay. All right. So again, offset again. 3,500. 3,500 from the top of the floor to the upper beam. There you are. Now you have more space. You can even draw a roof if you want it. If you need to, you can even put specification other things here. Okay, the next is you need to know the height of the door. We have door, isn't it? Right, and then we have window here. Right, so we need to know the height of the door, also height of the windows. So the common height of the windows is 1,000 from the floor to the lower window, right? And then 2,100 to the upper window. Same thing with the door here. From bottom will be offset 2,100 to the upper door here. So let's do offset. So 2,100. Right. That will be the total height of the door here, and this will be total height for the window. And then another one is 1,000, and this will be for the window. All right. Okay, let's work on the door first. Okay, let's work on the door. So I'm going to extend wall here. Right. As you can see, right? Let's look on the floor again. All right. So the section line is cut in the middle of the door. Right? It cut in the middle of the door. It means that parts of the door here, of this door here, will be look like elevation, right? And then because the door, part of half of the door is wall on the top, right? So part of the wall will be the section of the wall. You're supposed to learn this during your architecture graphic. If you understand this, then I want to revisit again the architecture graphic module. Right, you're supposed to learn this. So what you're going to do, right? So we have wall here. So we're going to extend the wall of the door here. There you are, right? And then I'm going to trim this wall. As I mentioned just now, right? On the upper part of the door will be wall, and the below will be door. Correct? Okay. So same thing with the window here. Extend. Here you are. And yeah, right. Okay. So as you can see here. So this will be walls, and the below part will be window. So because window also the same thing here, as you can see here, right? It cuts in the middle of the window. Right. So in the upper window will be walls, and the below will be the window. So what can you do? Here, I'm going to break this. BR break. Okay. And there. So the upper window of this, the upper window will be wall layer. I'll create this line and change it into wall. It's supposed to be red color, right? Okay, right. So I'll create it again. Since the color is not changing, it means that under property, it is not following the layers. It's just apply with white color. So I click again and should follow by layers, right? Because layers should be red colors. That's why colors to indicate layer line thickness is important. It means that you create colors is 0.4, right? Okay, yellow colors here is 0.3, and pink color is 0.6. If you're using all black or all white, you do not know the thickness of the line. And in technical drawing, line thickness is very important. You mess up with line thickness, your technical drawing will be wrong. Your drawing will be misunderstood by all professionals, even also contractors. All right. So it's very important. So this indicates as 0.4 or 0.5. So I extend this again here. And here, this one will extend here. All right. So same thing here, right? So same thing here. So this is supposed to be door. Line. And all right. So tip, let's say you want to create a straight line here, right? You can use perpendicular. Okay, so you can go to OSNAP here, click OSNAP, turn on the perpendicular. There you are, perpendicular. Perpendicular means that when your line reach here, right, it reach 90 degrees to your line here. And I'm going to create another line here. This will be the door. Okay. So why the color of the wall here is white? Because when you cut the door here, right, at the back of the door, the wall will be at the back. So it should be with white color 0.2 pen. Because we did not cut the wall, we cut the door. Meanwhile, on top here, we cut the walls, right? So should be with red color of 0.4 to 0.45 pen, right? Okay, so we should see the window layer, okay, a door panel here. So we just copy here. Right. Okay. So same as what we have learned last week. Whenever we have walls with red color here, it must be closed with wall as well. Change this to wall, press line, and close the wall. This is a must. This is important. If you don't do this, your technical drawing will be wrong. Right? Okay. And this one here, extend up because this is actually a full brick wall line. Right? So when we have this, erase this one here. This line here because it's basic line, right? Okay. And you can erase this Okay. So you're going to draw the door drawing here. Just change this to draw layers, right? So first thing to do is to draw the door jamb. Right? The door jamb is 50 mm thickness, right? So offset 50. The bottom, there you are. And I'm going to click the rectangle here. Click this. And there's a door jamb. So you must remember just now there is a red wall here, isn't it? Color right. So what I can do, right? I'm going to turn off the layer of door just now. I ask you, you will turn this layer. What to do? Just turn off the current layer. Yeah. So you see only the wall layer. So just erase this part here. We need this. That's a guideline for us to draw the window jamb, and then turn on. There you are. Right. And while the door here, we'll start from here. Right. Right. So you can do this. Yeah. This change to window layer. The way as well. Okay. Right. So the door here is the door panel. So as you can see, right, the door is actually there is two ways of doing draw the door. Actually. You can draw the door open, or you can draw the door closed. Right. Okay. So in this case, I think let's just close the door. When you close the door, it means that you can see what is behind the door. Right. So what we're gonna do, what we need is actually the door panel here. What can you do? Just use the middle line of the grid line that just offset 15. 515 because the door panel usually about 30 mm. And change this layer into doors. Yeah, and frame this. Frame. Frame. There you are. Right. So this will be the door panel. Well, of course, you can do the door opening as well, but then you probably will hide what you're going to have on the door at the back. Okay. So let's move to the window. Right. So window drawing, we might do almost similar with the door drawing, almost similar, right? It will have a window jamb, which is the size will be similar with the door jamb here. So what can I do? We just copy the jamb here, door jamb here, and move it to the drawing. That's it, right? So as you see just now, right? I did copy the whole door jamb here along with the red colors of the wall. So as you can see, actually, if you realize the wall here, actually there is two lines. Right? We will deal with that, right? So this is Windows. So the window, on the other hand, it will have two window jambs, upper and lower jamb, right? Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna trim the window here first. I'm gonna do this before and after, right? Method just something. So I'm gonna copy the upper jamb because the size will be the same, right? And bring it down. Right. And then I'm going to extend the window here to the top. Okay. Window. This is a door and this is a window. Meanwhile, the hand here, right? Okay. This is a white line which is a 0.2 pen. So this is actually the line for the window. So we need to trim this. Okay. So you should do that here. Now looks empty, right? So this is here, right? It's supposed to be a wall line. Right? Remember? Same with the upper here, where we cut the windows. On top of the window will be wall, and also the bottom window also will be wall. So it's the same thing, right? So you can either copy this wall here to the bottom and trim, Or another way, you can use wall layer here, click on the wall layer, and just draw the line. Okay, perpendicular the ground because it's outer wall, right? And here, perpendicular, grounded. And don't forget, in the middle should be another wall. Should be this way. All right, so that's it. So we have completed the door drawing and window drawing. The next we're going to do, we're going to complete the ground level of the house here, right? So what you're supposed to learn in building construction, right? So we have, when we have wall on top, we're going to have a ground beam at the bottom. That's for structural frames, right? We have wall on top, there should be a ground beam at the bottom, same thing here, right? So it's a must to have the ground beam. If not, your building will not be stable. And same thing with the upper part here, there should be a roof beam, right? So I'm going to draw the beam here. So usually the beam is about 200 times 400 to 100 mm. All right. So I'm going to use the 400 mm here. There you are. So that will be the height of the ground beam. Meanwhile, the thickness of the ground beam is about 200. So I'm going to offset this 200. Right. So same thing here. Offset this 200. Right. Meanwhile, in the middle ground beam, I'm going to offset 100 to the left and to the right. Same thing, the total size will be 200. There you are. Right. So this is the ground beam of the building. The sizes will be determined by the engineers, not us, the designers. Right. Will be determined by the engineers. Okay, so let's draw the ground beam. So click again. So we should find a layer for this, right? So there is few ways you can use the section layers here, or another way is just create a new layer. Beams, right? And the beams, the color should be green, 0.6 pen. Should be thick. All right. Okay, now change the layer into beams. And use rectangle here, and draw the ground beams from here to here. 2 and 3. Oh, sorry. Rectangle again. This side from the left to the right. There you are. Right? Once I have this, we can just delete again the rest. Right? Example, start delete all the line. Right? And do this, delete this, don't delete anymore. This just a guideline to get the 200 times 400 beams, ground beam. Right? And then this part here. So we have it. Okay, we can trim this frame. One and this one here. Let's give out frames. And this, trim this, right? And trim this. Okay. And press trim again. Now trim, select this part as a boundary line. And trim this part. There you are. So this is how the ground beam should look like. Right? All made of concrete. Okay. So we can apply the concrete hatches on the ground beam layer after this, right? This should be the first one. All right. All right. So basically that's the section of drawing, right? So I leave it to you guys, all right, to insert the like couch, elevation of couch, or if you cut the kitchen, so elevation of the kitchen. All right. Another hand, right? If you look at the floor, right, you're supposed to name the floor materials, right? On elevations, right, you should name the wall materials, all right? So you should name the wall materials. Same thing with this one here, right? You can name by user specification. You can name the material at the bottom of the room like this, right? It's up to you. I leave it to you guys. Okay. Let's change the layer to hatches. Change to hatch layer, right? Why hatch? Because it has 0.005 pen thickness. And look for concrete hatches. There are con. This for concrete. Apply this one. 1, 2, 3. There you are. Right. So the scale might be too small. You can increase this one here. So I'm going to increase to 1.5 scale. And so now the scale of concrete is high, bigger, and close the hash. There you are. Right. Okay, so let's start working on the top part. So this almost complete the bottom part. Actually, there should be more, where there should be a beam at the bottom, right? So let's work that on our next project. Okay. So the next part is the upper beam here. So we just change this. Okay, right. So there should be so upper beam. Usually the upper beam will be slightly smaller, right? So offset about 300. Why is upper beam is smaller? Because upper beam usually they need to support the roof, right? So the load of the roof is much lighter compared to the whole house here, right? So this part, the below beam, the earth beam here, right, is need to support the whole roof and the walls. So the beam is supposed to be bigger, right? So there is a few ways of doing the beam as well. Some of the beam nowadays, right, they make it almost the same with walls, which is the thickness is 150, so that you don't see the beam, right? If the thickness is constant inside the wall, it means that the depth of the beam should be bigger. But I'm going to do the traditional or the traditional building, right, which is the beam is same 100 200 mm. So for offset 100, offset 100. Oh, this sorry, what is dimension 9, right? Okay, offset. Okay, this is how the beam. As you can see, right, just now when I try to set the line just now, the dimension line, which is the yellow color, is a bit disturbing, isn't it? So as I mentioned, the dimension line should not touch the object, right? So what can you do? Just click the dimension line here and move the dimension here to the top. Okay. Not touching the object. Another way is by all other layer, right? And just work on the dimension line. That's another way. All right, see now the dimension did not enter object. All right, so we have this as well. This is the depth of the beam. I'm going to extend the beam further. The beam here. I'm going to extend. Same same technique. Change to beams layer here. So this is upper beam. Choose rectangle and draw a rectangle. Right. Same thing. I press space bar to repeat the last command. Rectangle, rectangle. Press space bar again to the last command. I'll pick out on the left one because there's an intersection here, and then there's an intersection here. If I choose this part here, there is no intersection, right? So choose this part here. Right. All right. So we've got this. I'm going to erase this line here. Right. I will erase this line as well. Why I erase the green line? Meanwhile, at the bottom, I make it remain. Why? Because at the ground beam, we have the floor, while on the upper beam there is no floor, right? That is just an open. It can be an open roof where you can see the roof, or you can conceive with the ceiling, right? So what you have here, right, should be a line, just a white line. So press line here, and another line here. Right? And select these two lines on the beams layer, but then it needs to be changed to white color or 0.2 pen, right? Because we just cut the beam, not the elevation of the beam. Different with this, we cut the floor, right? All right. As you can see, right, there's a bit of mistake here. The beam is supposed to be 200 times 200, isn't it? Right? It is not. So what can you do? Just get this, move it. Okay. Yeah, that's a mistake here, right? So we just frame this again. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's just supposed to be like that, isn't it? Okay. Meanwhile, it's supposed to be like this. Okay. And this should be this way. All right. Okay. What's something is okay. This is correct, as you can see. This again. Right, this part also I have a mistake. Must have offset the wrong line just now. Right, so click this perpendicular to the line here. Right, and then click this. Okay, there you are. And trim this. Okay. Okay. All right. So this is bottom beam or the earth beam we call it, and this is the upper beam or the roof beam. Okay. So once we completed the structure, so what we're doing right now is just a structure, right? Okay. And of course, you can draw a roof, or you can even do it this way, all right? Or if let's say if we assume this actually master real house, then it should be a floor slab on top, right? But then in this case, I'm not going to ask you to draw the roof. Basically, if it's a single story, then it should be a roof. But then to make simple work for you guys, just offset 100, right? Assume there is upper floor, so you don't have to draw the roof. If you need to draw the roof, then it will be more complicated than this. I'm going to change this into a. All right. you can move this to floor layer. All right, just have it beam layer, then change this into a bar layer. Right. Okay, just run this. Just assume there is floor on top, so then you don't have to draw a roof, right? Right. So do here in this, right? Frame, 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 frame. Do this, frame, 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 right? Frame, okay. Frame, frame, frame. So please be careful not to trim the grid line in the middle, right? Delete the grid line of the grid line. Okay. There you are. So we assume that there is floor on top, so that you don't have to draw the roof. All right. So once you have this, let's go to the next part, which is the elevation of the drawing. All right. So as you can see, there is no other features like door windows on the elevation, but then there is a sofa here. So far, you can insert the sofa elevation. Right. The next part, you need to name the section room. Right. So let's click here again. Copy the name of the master bedroom and also the living room. Right. So this is the must part of the section drawing. Right. It is a must for you name whatever room that you cut. Right. So this is master bedroom and living room. So you don't need to create a new one. Just copy whatever you have. Right. All right. So we have this. So before we finish the upper beam here, so same thing. Don't forget about the hatches. Go back to hatch. Right, and set a hatch here. And same thing, concrete. Right, apply the concrete here as well. Apply start as well. All right. Okay, it says all right. Okay. Okay, once you have done, close the hatch position. So this is the upper floor, right, and this is the floor. Right, if you want to draw the roof, is welcome, all right. But then for this tutorial, we try to keep it to the as simple as possible, because you guys still have a long way to go, right? Okay, the next task is to apply dimension to all the drawing, right? Click the dimension. Okay, so go to annotate and select linear dimension. So first we work on the structure first, right? So click the the ground to the upper beam here. This will be the overall height, right? Should be the overall height of the everything. So the height is 3650, right? Why? Because 150 is from the ground here. Okay, and then we need to indicate the height of the from the ground to the beam, right? Which is 150. Okay. Then the height from the floor to the roof here, or maybe yeah, just to be here. Just use this here to the below window. That to indicate the height of the window, right? Right. Then I'm going to continue this to the upper window and to the upper beam. There you go. Right? And then we're going to indicate the height of the door here as well. So these are all structural. Right? 100, that's the height of the door. Right. Okay, the next one is specifications. So go to that to here. Let's specify this and change into text. Right? Or you can create another layer which is specifications, right? Just create another layer then. Line, layer, specification, or annotation. Right? I make it different than text. You can use text, but then the line need to be changed to white colors, right? Because specification usually the effectiveness is 0.2 pen. Change this area, current area into specifications. There you are. Then you can start draw the specification. Specification you can write before the measure line or after the measure line. Right? It's up to you. So in this case, I would like to make the specification before the cadet. So I'm going to move this a bit further. Right. This will be moved a bit further as well. Right. So I can use the middle here as specification. Right. Let's say if you feel that the measure line is a bit disturbing, right? What can you do? You can even move it even further. Right. So that it will not disturb your view. As I mentioned, it's okay as long as it's not touching the drawing object. All right. Okay. So I can have my specification here. Right. So specification, go to annotate, and use the multi-leader. So I'm going to do a specification in this window here. Click aluminum window. Windows to design the sticker. I'm going to highlight this, right, and we'll change this to 160. I think 160 is too big because this is just a small drawing. Let's change this again. The part here we're supposed to write in a scale here. Okay. Scale 1. So this should use a different different text size. So this will be about 150. Oh. Let's do the specification example here. I'll do the special window here. Right, click. Okay, I'm going to change the text size about or maybe about 90, because this should be print out in a 150 scale, right? So 90, 90, 90, enter. Million. Windows, 92, and close that. There you are. Okay. Oh, what can you do? You can actually just enter this, make it shorter. Right. So as you can see, right, the header is not fully set. So go to the multi-leading style and modify here, right? Go to leader format here and change the size. I would say about 50. Yes. There you are. Okay. So you must remember the size, the scale, you need to see the drawing. I think that even the 50 is too small. Let's change this to 100. Yep. Right. 100 will be best. Let's have a few more example. The wall here, wall specification here. As I mentioned just now, right? So when you type in a specification, right, try to make the specification on the straight line. That will create a smooth and quite neat specification. Wall to be painted with a point L C. So whenever we specify the paint, we need to specify the name, the brand, and the code, right? Right. Oh, it's supposed to be repeat here as well, so I did not change the text as now. Right click, Control A, and it's 90 just now. Right. So as you can see, it's too long. Double click again, and enter. All right. Close that enter. So the example of specifications. So we have a dimension, we have specifications. You're supposed to draw the interior furnitures. And if let's say the room, right? Let's say here, right? Let's say the room is example like toilet. Usually toilet they have a 200, 2000 mm height floor tile. So you should draw the hatch of tiles on the wall as well. How the wall should look like, right? So you should draw that. Then if there is a furniture, then draw the furniture. So the bedroom, then draw the bedroom. I leave it to you guys, right? So this one is just a basic of our basic of our section, right? So once you have done this, you can just erase this. Press, erase, all right? And there's a section drawing. And then you can just copy this box into the section drawing. Oh, I'm missing a few lines here. I could have made this a block, right? I could have made this as a block. There you go. And then the ground line is too long. It's too far away. Make it shorter a bit. Save with this. Alright. And don't forget to name your drawing. So this is supposed to be plan. Title is important, right? So this is plan. Okay. I think the best size tag should be about 200. Text 300. Yeah, let's make it 300. The title. Alright, and then then copy this thing as well. Like this. And this section AA. Alright. Okay. Section A. And then another part is we're supposed to write in the scale. Right. Right, so this 150. Nice. Put it at the bottom of the title, right? And copy the same thing here. So these are all the rules that you need to abide when doing the technical drawing. You miss this one means that you lost the marks, right? So you should have the room naming on the section, right? Room naming, the dimension added, specifications, right? The wall line, correct wall lines, and section line here, right? So yeah, let's make this even interesting. Let's go to home again. All right, let's make this interesting. Let's apply hatches for the brick wall, right? Change to hatch layer. Okay, and then click hatch and look for NC32. 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 35, 36, 33. There you are. NC32. Apply the brick wall, right? Right, there's NC0. So for brick wall hatches should be supposed to be double line this way here. And then I think let's have the Mark 40. Or 40 is the make it 2010. Okay, so apply to this framework as well. This one here. This one. Once I have done, just go search. So that's it, right? And once I have done with this, then let's print this. Go here, print, right? Same thing. Select this window. So must remember from inside of the boundary to another inside of the boundary here. So as you can see, look at the scale, plot to scale is 47.62. It means that the nearest scale that we can use is 1:50. Turn this off and change this into 1:50. Enter. Right. Okay. Oh. Okay. And then don't forget the CTB file here, right? As by the CTB, which is contain the line thickness. And let's have a preview. There you are. So as you can see, when you print out the final output, it must be with the black colors. It have to be with black colors, right? Because that's how the technical drawing is all about. Right? It has to be black, and then it must contain the line thickness. As you can see, this is the hatches thickness. So it's thin, while this actually the beams and the floor must be thick. right? So once you have done this, let's print out, save, and there you are. That is our output. All right, thank you very much.